Good morning, Joel.
Good morning, Ben.
How has your Friday morning been so far?
So far, so freaking good. How about yours?
Good.
Just pause there.
Yeah,
Hesitation
it
there.
was fun. It's interesting. So this week I've been working on sleep. I've been working on getting to bed earlier. And we'll talk about it. We haven't mentioned 2 weeks, but I've had this flip phone.
You know, I was just about to bring that up. I saw it on the table. I was like, hey, I should bring that up.
Flip phone life, folks.
Flip
phone life. And
has it drastically changed your life?
you know, it has not. It has and it has not. It has not been without pain. The texting on here, although
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, so it's not so much.
I remember back in the day being quick at that.
I'm getting better. Like, it comes back.
It's coming back.
If I gave you this phone, by the end of the day, you could text while not looking. Like, it comes back very fast.
Yeah.
But
Holy crap, man. These kids will never know about this, man.
no idea.
They will have no idea that you had a text with only 12 buttons.
Yeah.
If you wanted to use characters, characters included.
Yeah, I mean, you got the number one, and
10-ish.
you got, like, next it up.
Holy crap.
Yeah, man, T9, for real.
That's
so,
insane.
now, sending message is not an issue. Part of the issue.
Is them green bubbles that you're affecting everyone else with?
One, I'm sorry for all the green bubbles.
You're polluting everyone else's iPhone
Yeah.
with your green bubbles.
The issue is that, and it's actually let's start here. Why does Ben have a flip phone? Okay, I believe that, and I'm not some genius for thinking this. I think everybody would come to this conclusion. In my personal life, my iPhone has deteriorated
Hello, everybody.
my quality of living. It has certainly added to it, I'm sure, in some ways. But where I am right now, I find myself far too stimulated by the imagery, by being able to get on Instagram, get lost on Instagram, by being able to get on Facebook and find contentious debate and getting drawn into conflict.
Those damn memes.
And so, unfortunately, what popped this off, I've been talking about flip phone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where
you brought it up before.
I've kind of gotten, I got to the point where, hey man, either shut up about it or do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if one of y'all had said that to me, you would have been right, because I was like, I'm gonna get a flip phone, and I never did.
And you did.
I mean, I was like 6 months ago or a year ago in my relationship, I was saying I was getting a flip phone, and she could have told me to shut the hell up. And I mean, she did for other reasons, but that's fine. So I finally did it, mainly because I'd been saying it, but also because I had discovered like the wormhole of like memes on the Discover feature of Instagram,
or dogs.
where you can just click one meme and then you just keep scrolling, and it's
Yeah.
all the same theme of meme, and you're just like, oh my god, it's funny, and like an hour later, you're like, oh dear.
Oh my goodness.
And it was funny,
I
but
pooped a long time ago.
so, well, the problem with me was it happened in bed.
Oh, that's bad.
I'd lay down at an appropriate hour, and then suddenly it was a very inappropriate hour.
Mm.
And it's not fair to you as a human, because you need to take care of yourself, and we got one life to live. We're not living our best life, then we're really selling ourselves short, because we're all going to die soon. There's your daily dose, or your weekly dose of Ben says we're going to die soon.
Your weekly dose of reality.
Yeah, because life is moving fast, man. We just sat down. I feel like we just sat down doing the coffee tasting an hour ago. Not
Yep.
really, like yesterday, right?
Yeah, this is true.
But it was a week ago. 7 days have gone by. You know, first Saturday is next week. Like,
Yeah.
everything is moving very, very quickly.
very
It's
quick.
not actually next week; it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
But
Everybody's coming up.
my point is,
You know what?
the month is over.
I actually think it's in 3 weeks.
No,
The first Saturday falls in 2 weeks.
It's
Oh, you know what? Oh, you're not including this weekend.
not
Okay, got it. Because next week, the last day.
next week is not first Saturday, though. It's
Yeah.
the end of September.
Yes.
The first is like on Monday.
Yes.
And so the first Saturday is the 6th.
Yes. Correct.
So it's kind of
Yes.
it's 2 weeks from now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I'm
And so
sorry, folks.
we're gonna die quick, and that means
I don't
that
know about quick.
if I'm losing hours
Soon.
sleep, is that the same thing? Seems quick.
Well, no, like quick would be like
Well,
shot to the head.
I hope you die quick.
Well, I mean, some people like die
Do you
slow.
want to suffer?
Some people die slow.
Would you like to suffer?
Like, no.
Do you want a slow death?
I don't want a slow
I
death.
wish you
but-
a quick death.
Well, that'd be nice.
No,
but-
right.
but
So
some
I'm
people don't get that.
okay. So you're saying I shouldn't get people's hopes up?
Yes.
Joe, I would like you to know you might die a slow, painful
You
death.
might die a slow, painful death.
I hope you die quick. But no, life
But not
is
soon.
life is gonna move quick. Okay, so fast. Whatever, man. Okay, it's gonna be over. So
I
if
get
I'm
it.
losing sleep and I'm not happy with how I'm waking up, and I'm therefore a less awesome person in the mornings, then I'm not only selling myself short, but also in this industry, I'm selling my athletes short. If you have to walk in at 5 a.m. and I'm not giving you my best, and if you've been with us for a while, you know that things have already changed in terms of my perkiness. I've already gotten better at that. But even then, we're not even talking about noticeable frustration with lack of sleep. We're talking about like I might do an okay job, but I could be doing a better job.
Yeah.
You know? And so
we could always do a better job.
Well, and that's the thing. And so I know that when I sleep better, I'm awesome. Like I pretty much can function at max capacity, and I feel better, and that makes other people feel better. And so by me staying up at night staring at Instagram, not only am I doing myself a disservice, I'm doing a disservice to anybody that interacts with me the next day. And I got sick of that. The other thing was I get drawn into FOMO, not so much like I wish I was traveling with you. I don't care about how your daddy paid for your vacation. But like if I see a gym post a photo of like 30 people in a class, even if it was like a community workout from 3 years ago, I'm immediately like, oh my God, our 8:30 doesn't have 30 people.
Yeah.
Our 8:30 had 5 people today. And I suddenly start worrying about that.
That's,
you know?
It's kind of the equivalent to everyone else looking at social media and setting these high expectations for themselves that aren't realistic.
Well, and I was doing that. And the problem was like
that can be realistic, but just aren't.
I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Yeah.
And so I did some, and I've been listening to smarter people than me talk about it. I've been doing some research, and one guy, I think it was Neistat, it was somebody, maybe it was Ferris, and he just said like, no, it was someone Ferris was interviewing. I think the Dropbox guy, and he was basically like, I've never made a decision based on somebody else. He's like, all the good stuff that my business has done is because we came up with the idea. We didn't see somebody else do it. We didn't see it in the industry. We came up with it. And so because he was referring to, he doesn't read trade magazines. He doesn't get on Instagram. He doesn't check in on other competitors. They do them. Like they focus on what they do. And if you look at what we do so well, it has nothing to do with anybody else. In fact, the stuff that we've done poorly is a lot of times what other people do.
Yeah.
Think about weightlifting. We've never had a successful weightlifting program. Never. It's always been mediocre. Well, why do we bring it in? It's not really part of the culture here. We brought it in because other people have it. There's always a barbell club. Yeah. So we got kind of baited into doing. Now, does that mean we won't have it in the future? Absolutely not. Like we will find a fit for it. But we made that call. We rushed it because other people were doing it.
Yeah.
The first time we did fitness, Fit 101 back in Lindale, we did it because Brick was doing the B45. We did it because H-Town had their 30 and 45-minute classes. We did it because other people had it, and we thought we had to offer it. And guess what? Our heart wasn't in it. Yeah. You know? And now we have a fitness program our heart is in, and it does much better. So my point is, I can put Instagram away and not feel like I'm losing my competitive edge. If anything, I feel like I have more energy to devote to it.
Yeah.
So now the downside of the flip phone. You thought I didn't communicate before? Searching my text messages, like finding what you told me a week ago on an iPhone is easy.
Yeah.
Easy scroll, bubbles, you see the breaks.
Yeah, you just scroll once and it goes.
This thing, I mean, I got to click to scroll. Like click, 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 like a roller coaster. Click, 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 click. And it's small. If you send me an image, it's grainy. I can't save it. I can't do anything with it.
Oh.
There's no blow-up feature.
Well, it's a good thing you're part of the Apple community with your MacBook.
I mean, I'm still using iMessage on my Mac. The iPhone is still the business phone, so I still have it here. So what the rules are for me is I don't take the iPhone in my bedroom, and I don't let it leave the building with me. So, like, my big hang-up, we all have these hang-ups of, like, why don't you start – why can't you eat healthy? And you're like, because I need my wine every Monday night.
Yeah.
We have these hang-ups. My hang-up was I need my podcast, and I need my – audiobooks.
Yeah.
I'm still finding a way to get that. But I've decided I was using that as an excuse.
Are you able to play audiobooks through your laptop?
Yes. And so that's podcast and audio. So that's what I've started doing is when I get to the thing I'm missing is the car ride.
Yeah.
But you know what, man?
But you can save it. Never
I don't have my iPhone.
Never mind.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid if you.
No. And so when I did take my phone,
cops have their laptops. They have the
just
open
it up,
big old industrial
plug it
thing.
in.
Yeah, just you could use Bluetooth headphones and have it sitting there on the passenger side.
Then you're advertising that you have your laptop in your car, and then someone's gonna pop that window and
you just gotta take it with you everywhere you go.
Yank it.
You can't put it in.
I'm not gonna live that life.
My backpack goes with me everywhere I go.
Well, here's the deal. I have this habit of like anytime I'm in a Target. So Target still sells CDs. Y'all remember CDs? And I go to the sales
stands for compact disc,
the clearance section, and I'll pick like a favorite CD from the 90s. So my glove compartment's actually full of like old hip hop and pop CDs.
Nice.
And so I'm just gonna start listening to CDs again. So anyways, that's why I have my phone. My voicemail is not accessible, like because you have to have the password. You remember having a password for your voicemail? Yeah, like a 4-digit password.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. They didn't give me one, and I didn't ask how to get it. So my voicemail's currently full, and I'm probably not going to change that. So don't call me.
You remember minutes are free after 9 p.m. or something like that?
Yes. Back when you'd be on the phone with a girl for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And
You hang up. No, you hang up.
Your parents were like, "Stay off the phone."
No, you hang up first.
I just want to hear you breathe.
Yeah.
You don't talk for like an hour because you're both doing something else.
Yeah. I was real bad at that. I would be nodding off.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
No, you hang up first. All right, bye.
No, she tries to be cute.
Okay, I win. Bye.
We really should get off the phone, but I don't want to hang out with you. Yeah. You hang up first. All right. Peace.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, so that's the story of the flip phone. So, Joel.
Weekends were free, right?
Weekends were not after 9, and weekends were free.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you buy your free minutes.
Man, and then if you left the city, roaming charges, which is
Oh.
just long distance.
You know what? Regular television is now starting to do. Hey, ad free. Pay this premium price for ad free.
They have to.
FX is doing that.
They have to. They have to.
Yeah.
Are they doing like through AT&T or?
Well, I have Xfinity.
Like through,
I know because
through the regular cable provider, or do you have to like access their app?
Well, I was watching American Horror Story
The normal channel.
On the normal channel,
and it gives you that option.
And it came the option like it popped up like ad free for this much. I'm like, holy shit, TV's doing that now.
But you couldn't have watched that episode at another time. You had to still watch it at the time it started.
It was DVR'd, so I don't know if that made a difference. Like, I wonder if like FX has.
Because I'm wondering what, like, say you're watching it in real time.
Yeah.
And you go ad free, so it's gonna rush the show now.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an extra 10 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
Because there's 10 minutes of freaking commercials.
Yeah.
So a 30-minute show.
I actually think it's
minutes.
45 minutes and 15.
Well, if it's an hour show,
I think
absolutely.
like 30-minute shows are 22 and 8.
Yeah. So 44 and 16.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But so anyways, you get through 44 and you're going to have this 16-minute gap before the next show.
Mm-hmm.
Do they just cram all the commercials there?
No, it's ad-free.
It just bumps to the next show?
Yeah.
So then you would perpetually get ahead and ahead and ahead?
Mm-hmm. But then again, it's their newest season, so now you have to wait every week for the new episode.
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like,
tummy ache.
So American Horror Story is on right now, and then a rerun of 2.5 Men's on next. So 45-minute, you watch American Horror Story in 44. So it ran from 9 p.m. to 9:44. 2.5 Minutes schedule start at 10. What happens between 9:44 and 10?
You go use the restroom.
Right, but what happens on the TV? It just goes black?
That's a good question.
That's my question.
Maybe it gives you the option.
I bet it crams all the commercials in there. Or I bet you're right that it has to be DVR'd.
Probably has to be DVR'd.
And then you can pay, even though you already recorded it yourself, and you could skip the commercials yourself.
Yes.
They're just they're doping you into. They'll do what you were already going to do. How lazy are you? Do you hate pressing the fast forward button?
Well, it's funny you say that because when I was grocery shopping for chicken, I went to go get some chicken.
We can talk about chicken in our bathroom.
Well, no.
We can go to the bathroom break and talk about it.
No. This is different now. Like, this is good chicken.
Did you go to El Pollo Loco? Did we go to the same place, or did we just have the same meat?
No. We just had the same. We just both had poultry.
Poultry.
Yeah, we had poultry and bad experience.
Okay.
But it just costs a little bit more.
Yeah.
For the thin cut chicken breast.
Yep.
And a little less for the regular chicken breast that I could cut myself.
Yep.
Which one did I buy?
No, I agree.
I went thin cut because I didn't feel like cutting
Think about it. Beef patties cost more than ground beef.
Yes.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
but the added convenience there is that you know that each one is like it's already separated in the right amount. So there's that convenience.
You're paying for convenience.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's business.
Yeah.
That's business.
That's like a convenience store. Like sometimes I'll go get ice from the gas station. I was like, "Why'd you go there? It's so expensive." Because I didn't want to wait in line.
Right. No, I
paid to be in and out basically. So it's called a convenience.
Where else would you get ice?
Like Kroger.
Oh,
or it's like cheaper for quantity, and like you go to a gas station, it's like a lot more, but in and out. Bam,
Chevron right here, bag of ice is like $1.95.
Damn, Food Town's like 88 cents.
How big?
10-pound bag? No, 8. The regular size one. So the one that you would find at a gas station.
You know what? The size bags are bullshit, and I think they sell them at the Kroger. The blue ones with the handle, those are bullshit.
Yeah, I think
First of all,
that's
the ice,
10-pound one.
The ice is literally out of a home ice maker. It's like a home ice maker. It's bullshit ice.
It gets stuck together.
And it's not as much ice.
Yeah.
As like the convenience store bags that are longer.
It's in a square, which makes it less
that's
convenient.
the other thing. It's a fucking square bag. Sorry for the F word, my bad. Ice bothers me. Like I love ice, and I hate when I get bad ice.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
Sonic
no,
Ice.
convenience. But think about it, man. Workouts are free.
Yeah.
You pay for the convenience to have us coach you.
Yeah.
You pay for the convenience of having other people work out with you.
Yeah.
But workouts are on. You can find any workout you want anywhere for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't pay for workouts.
Yeah.
Like, literally log on to anybody's website. They're right there.
But it's the community aspect, Ben. Makes a difference.
Duh. I'm fully aware of that. Okay. What were we?
We were talking about flip phones.
Okay, we're off that. All right, man. So I thought today the bulk of this, let's get the meat out of this. So
Chicken.
if anybody's actually paying attention, we can add some value right now. We are in week 3 of the nutrition challenge.
Week freaking 3.
Week
the
number
end
3.
Of week 3. Basically.
And
2 more weeks.
I know that my team is doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think your team stayed pretty connected.
They're
and
doing
really
awesome.
well. We're doing a little reshuffle on team number 3, and they are now half on my team.
I've actually told my athletes to start to weigh themselves like this week.
I like that.
As like a midpoint thing, just to see like what your results are like.
I like that. I
where the
absolutely.
inches went,
If you're out
where the
there,
weight
we do
went.
not like when you weigh every week. We don't like when you weigh every day, especially
Yeah,
for like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
You know when the last time I weighed myself was? When I came back from my trip.
Oh, that's right. I remember we did that. You had lost weight, right?
Yeah, just 3 pounds. 3 pounds is a wee boy.
Yeah. So we're in week 3. And so I just wanted to touch on, and I mean, we've kind of done this. I'm not sure the narrative's going to change. I'm not sure we're going to have this brilliant question. But and if they're the same as week 1 questions, that's fine. But like, have you had a question recently? Anything that comes to mind in terms of what someone struggled with that maybe we've helped find a solution for?
A lot of it's options. Like, what are my options? It's like, what could I have for breakfast? And I try to throw in there like, hey, like there's no such thing as breakfast food. Like, food is food. You can eat it whenever. But I mean, obviously, it's whatever you're gonna stomach because I mean, you're probably going from a totally different diet to what you're doing now.
Right.
So I mean, everyone's stuck to like the eggs in the morning only. Like me, I could eat eggs all day.
Right.
There's the not understanding how eating more carbs helps you lose weight, makes you lose weight.
Okay, so I like that. I want to get into that one. Let's start with the.
But they don't understand because they're doing it and they're losing weight. Like, it's not the, wait, you want me to eat more and I'm lose weight? No, it's like they're eating more carbs and they're losing weight. And they're like, wow, how does that work?
That's pretty fascinating. So first, let's go to the options because you already touched on. You already gave the answer. There's no such thing as breakfast food.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as snack food.
Yeah.
And if something is labeled that way, it is labeled that way in order to get you to buy a cheap bullshit product.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about what's on the breakfast aisle. Nothing good for you.
Yeah.
Eggs aren't on the breakfast aisle.
Mm-mm.
You know, even like a turkey sausage isn't on the breakfast aisle.
Yeah.
And so any of our options. And so we tell people all the time, and obviously not everybody hears it, so let's reemphasize. Like, you know what's good for breakfast? What you ate for dinner the night before. Your leftovers, you know? You know what's good for breakfast? Sliced up turkey patty. You know what's good for breakfast? Beef and rice. Like, you know what's good for breakfast? Tuna. And I'm sorry if you just, like, went a squinchy face, but, like, you live your life, I'll live mine. The point is not that you have to eat tuna in the morning. The point is that literally whatever you could have for lunch or dinner, you can have for breakfast. Yeah. And what matters the most, like, I think a great meal would be a beef patty and sweet potato for breakfast. Like, how is that not? You posted that the other day, right?
Yeah. No. Well, it's usually my lunch. Like,
right.
I'm a real basic individual.
Sure.
I could just
That's the way the most successful people are going to be basic.
Yeah. Just keep it simple.
The people that complicate things, the people need so much variety, they are the ones that stumble the most often.
They sabotage a little bit that way.
And so I think that it's really important to understand that we have fallen prey to the marketing tactics of big industry in that, no, this is all you can have for breakfast.
And you know what's funny about that? It's like, I can
funny?
only have eggs in the morning for breakfast. What about that time you went out partying, it was 3 in the morning, and Denny's was a fantastic IG, and you got a lumberjack slam? That was breakfast food.
I think I agree with
but then
you.
again, this alcohol, like,
no,
inhibiting your inhibition, like.
No, I completely agree. The point is, like, if you have ever have breakfast for dinner, you love it.
Hell yeah.
Like, if you're married and your wife's like, or your husband
Why do you
is
think
like,
McDonald's and Jack in the Box played that move?
Absolutely.
Breakfast all day now.
If you come home and he or she's like, I made some waffles and sausage, you're not mad about that.
Yeah. What?
You're not. What? You're like,
Is there syrup on there?
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
I already smothered it in butter and buried it in syrup. Actually, don't bury my waffle in syrup before I get there because then it's going to soggy and it's going to deteriorate.
I used to, like, when I haven't had a waffle forever. I would like to fill up each individual square. Like, it was just entertaining to
Well, the problem with waffles right now is really the only place to get them for a decent price is, like, honestly, like a motel breakfast where you make them yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you get them from a restaurant, they're going to charge you $10.
For
Like-
a Belgian style waffle.
White people came in and were like, "Oh, you like waffles? $9.50," and you're like, for the dough from the Bisquick box, like
Yeah.
that's $9.50.
Yeah.
And so you can't order waffles anymore. That's why we don't get them, because it's financially a poor decision.
You know, even like Waffle House, haven't been there forever either, but like it was just one waffle. And
That's the other thing. When did we decide one waffle was it?
It's not right.
So, I dare you to serve me one pancake. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it better be one huge pancake. Like
And-
I think Snooze does, right? Or do they still give you two?
I don't know. I haven't been to Snooze since we went to the zoo.
Same.
Golly,
That was a while
I
back.
think your experience there
Yeah,
ruined my experience there.
I ruined it for myself. I went too hard.
Someday we'll tell the Snooze story when we're not on a nutrition challenge. And so yeah, guys, don't fall prey to like, hey, I can only have breakfast for breakfast, because that's how you're gonna end up not succeeding. You're not gonna get calories in the morning.
I even recommended like they switch their meal around. Like what you usually have for lunch, what if you had it for breakfast, and what you usually have for dinner?
I think it's
have
good
for
variety.
lunch. Like
I think
it's-
that type of variety is good. That way you're not burning out on like every lunch I sit down and I have this.
Yeah.
If you had it for breakfast one day, it changes it up, but you still don't change your preparation. It allows you to still meal prep. Okay, so the second thing was the carbs. Like I increased my carbohydrates, but I'm leaning out. And like I do think there's trepidation, there's worry before they do it.
Yeah.
When you see someone under eating and you're like, hey man, you're eating like 100 grams of carbs. I'm gonna bump you up to like 250,
Yeah.
you know, or like let's say 200. Let's say 200. Nobody go eat 250 until you talk to a coach. 200 grams of carbs, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
But I thought,
But I want to lose weight.
yeah. How do I lose weight doing that?
Keep
And to be very fair, let me be clear here. When we say we bumped your carbs up, you are probably within 10 pounds of your body weight. Okay, you're not obese. Obese, we tend to like a higher fat, lower carb diet. It's healthier for the actual health functions of the body that you're concerned with: pre-diabetes, diabetes, heart disease. But when someone's closer, 10 to 15 pounds to their ideal body weight, or they have body composition on the mind, upping the carbs with their performance tends to be, generally speaking, the most effective way. So then you'll have someone come in, and it happens with men and women alike, okay? Because a lot of times, like, oh, increase food, and that's a lot of times women are like, what? I'm supposed to eat more than 700 calories? And you're like, yeah, please, like for your sake, for everybody in your life's sake.
Yeah.
With carbs, men and women alike are like, whoa, you want me to do what?
And you think it'd be like they'd get excited about that.
You would think they'd get excited about it, but
Eat more?
and it's funny because these are not people that necessarily were paleo. These are not people that have been eating healthy with like a lower carb diet.
Yeah.
They were eating junk food, but now you're like, okay, so, and by the way, if you're eating junk food, your carbohydrates are through the roof.
Yeah.
So we're actually still asking you to reduce carbs from what you were eating before, but you just think healthy eating is depriving yourself of carbohydrates. And let's be full disclosure. We are partially responsible. For a couple of years, we did kind of go too overboard. Back 2011 to 2014 was the misunderstanding of healthy eating. It was better than what we were doing. It was better than what normal traditional nutrition in America was, but it wasn't sustainable because it basically took all the joy out of life.
Is that the block?
No,
Block
well, that was the
was
next step. The
paleo.
general prescription was always going to be some form of moderate fat to high fat. The misunderstanding was, should it be high fat or moderate fat? And then should it be low carb or moderate carb? And so what people would do, they wouldn't eat enough carbohydrates to get the benefit of carbs, but they wouldn't eat enough fat to get the benefit of fat.
So they're doing low carb,
They
low
stayed
fat.
in this middle area where you just feel like dog shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, you leaned out a little bit, but you didn't get like the definition. So you got benefits health wise. Your doctors were happy with your blood work,
Yeah.
but you felt like a sack of crap. And so
Either high carb, low fat,
you
or
needed-
high fat, low
that's it.
carb.
The carbs go up, the fat comes down, or the fat goes up and the carbs come down. And there's wild success on both ends.
Yeah, you can't do.
And there's
they can't be
specific
the same.
prescriptions for people. But no, there's nobody that's prescribing to you to have 60 grams of fat and 105 grams of carbs. That's not going to get you happy, okay?
the carbs up.
You're actually going to be pretty miserable. So what then, when you have an athlete ask you about carbohydrates, because then they're going to try to eat too much broccoli, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, I'll just eat a ton of broccoli. And they're like, oh, wait, I can't do that, Joel. What do I do? So what have you seen successful? What has worked for your athletes?
So one, not limiting your vegetables to just 1 cup. Also, not being too worried about overeating vegetables, because you could eat that all you want. Big thing was Potatoes, honestly, potatoes and yams were the biggest, and which they liked because everyone likes potatoes
Right.
and yams. And it's like, wait, I could have that? Yes, you could have that. Just don't cook it in vegetable oil.
If you don't know, we have that recipe on the blog for the Christmas potatoes, which is cinnamon over diced up potatoes that you roast in the oven.
Yeah. I forgot who told me that they were doing that as well, that they started doing that.
It's delicious.
It is good. But so actually, when I do mine now, I don't cut them up no more just because it was just a pain in the butt. Just
Right.
to
Absolutely.
have to cut them all
Have you ever
up.
cut a raw potato?
It sucks.
Rough.
Like, I feel like a cleaver would be great.
Well,
But I might lose
it's
a
not
finger.
even that. It's not even just that. It's that you don't have like sharp knives because you're not a freaking chef.
Yeah.
So you have these dull ass knives you never sharpen, and you're like
that you had forever.
hacking at it. You need like a
That-
mallet to drive the blade
They
through.
belong to your grandma, who's no longer around. And
She sharpened her knives.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
she
You were
did.
like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, no, yeah. She was a boss, and you're like, I don't need to do that. Yeah, so now what I do is I just hit them with the knife to where it, like, cuts through them,
Right.
but not enough to chop them up.
Okay.
So instead of forking them, because forking them even got hard.
Yeah.
Like, forking them, like, it would get stuck, and you're like, come on.
Yeah.
Jab, and then stab it, and then pull it out. So now I just, like, hit it with the knife and, like, cut slivers in it. And I put coconut oil in there, I sprinkle cinnamon, and then I just bake them like that. And that has worked. Yams have worked.
So real quick on preparation for that, the other option that's actually a little bit easier,
Mhm.
and I don't think it takes anything away unless we find out that the microwave waves give us like cancer,
Yeah, those
is if you
microwaves.
just stab it like 4 or 5 times with a
Mhm.
knife, and I usually will stab and then cut and then stab, like drag it down so it's a little bit bigger,
Mhm.
and then I'll wrap it in a napkin. I'm not even sure that's necessary, but I kind of think that it would trap the moisture so it doesn't dry out. I'll put it in the microwave. A small yam or sweet potato, 6 minutes, and a big one's like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Basically, you don't take it out. Once it's done, just squeeze it,
Mhm.
and squeeze it in the middle.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is the ends will be soft no matter what, but the middle, if you feel it hard,
Mhm.
you put it back in.
Yeah.
But I mean that's a much quicker way.
Mhm.
I do think it. Well, we talked about being simple. I'm not sure it compromises the flavor. Like I'm not sure I'm less happy with a microwave sweet potato than I am with a baked sweet potato.
So, I've had the sweet potatoes that you could throw in the microwave, and I didn't like it.
So I'm not talking about like the one that comes in saran wrap.
Yeah, that's
I'm talking
one
about
I
like
did try.
a raw potato you got that you would bake,
Yeah.
stab it a couple times, throw it in the microwave, see how you like it. If you overcook it, it's not good.
Yeah,
So there
it's-
is an art to it.
And there's it's too hot.
Can't
as well.
undercook it. Oh, it does have to cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to cool a baked one too.
Yeah, that's
But
true,
it does
that's true.
have to cool, and it does
Yeah.
seem. But that's why then you open it up, smother it in butter, and let it sit.
Yeah,
And you can just sprinkle cinnamon on top of that.
That's probably why I didn't like it either, because I just had it out there, and I didn't. If I bake it, I coconut oil,
Yeah.
cinnamon, bake it. But the microwave, it was just microwave and then eat it, and I was like, oh, this is. Meh.
Yeah,
I
and the
don't
other thing in
like
the microwave, you wouldn't put the oil on until
yeah.
after.
Yeah, until after.
Or else I'm not sure.
So-
what anyway, sorry. Go, moving on.
But I would like to add to that for those that are listening. If you want to improve your sweet potato baking skills, if you're not chopping it up, finding potatoes that are all similar in size is going to be like your best bet. So that's something that I started paying attention to when I were like grocery shopping for sweet potatoes. I try to make sure they're all the same like thickness, like all the way throughout.
Right.
Because if you have like one that's thicker than the rest, when you try and cook it, all the other ones are good to go, but that one thick one is just sitting there.
Yeah, if you're gonna prep them
Stiff as a rock.
at the same time, then you need them to be the similar size.
Yeah. Back to helping people
Yeah.
improve their carbs. One of the things I noticed for those that were low is they didn't have no fruit at all whatsoever, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's an easy fix. If you add like an apple, an orange, or a banana, like
Right.
two of those, like two of the options."
And the
like-
thing, and actually, I heard Joe Rogan talk about this week on one of his clips. They talked about how the liver is going to auto-regulate the consumption of the sugar
Mhm.
because that natural occurring fructose, the
Yeah.
body knows what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that in relation to eating just sugar,
Sugar,
or
yeah.
another refined carb
Mhm.
that have the same load.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't know how to process, and so there's more insulin spike.
Mhm.
And so erring on the side of too much fruit is still better
Yeah.
than dabbling in any sort of refined carbohydrate to try to match those numbers.
Mhm. Yep. That one.
Berry prices are coming down. Blackberries are now reasonable. Blueberries are not.
Still not, but Adam said, I didn't check it out yesterday. I completely forgot about checking it out, but Sprouts apparently has great deals on berries and meat.
So I've heard that. I've heard Sprouts is completely affordable
Yeah.
on that type of stuff, they get their money on their products.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go in there and you buy what you normally would get, and it's not going to be any more expensive.
Yeah.
But it's when you get in the aisles.
Yeah. That is.
And
that's
their aisles
crazy.
have more stuff than like a grocery store aisle, so there's reason to go down there.
Yeah. I've been needing to check that out, but
I always thought I was kind of under the Whole Foods pricing model idea for Sprout. I was like, oh, it must be expensive. But
yeah,
I
that's what
remember
I've been thinking.
someone told me that you can get meat and vegetables and fruit for even cheaper, like reasonable to cheap prices.
Yeah.
And then they're expecting you to buy because they'll do the bulk items towards the front. Like the barrels full of like chocolate covered raisins. So like you want to grab some of those.
Delicious.
That's what they're gonna make their money
I'm
on.
being sarcastic.
And
Chocolate
so
covered raisins are not enticing.
you don't like those?
I mean,
Do you like raisins?
I could eat them by themselves.
Do you like chocolate?
I do love chocolate. I like dark chocolate.
Have you tried them?
I have tried them,
Do you
but
like yogurt covered raisins? Is it the
Alright.
raisin that's the problem? You don't like to decorate your raisin?
you know what I like? I like a dark chocolate. Dark chocolate covered almond.
You trying to be healthy
What?
with dark chocolate?
Oh, I like dark. I don't
I
like.
want some man-made artificial milk chocolate.
No, I like dark chocolate.
Does it make you feel better about yourself?
No, I just always like dark chocolate.
Interesting.
Like even back in the day, I'd
you.
like the Hershey's dark chocolate bar over the milk chocolate one.
Good for you.
And the dark chocolate bar with almonds in it.
To be clear,
man.
dark chocolate is not healthy. Please do not read that.
Yeah, do
dark
not read that
chocolate is
label.
closer on the health spectrum than milk chocolate is. Sorry, I did first I'm like, oh, dark chocolate almonds are healthy.
Yeah.
The fat content alone is reason to stay away.
Yeah.
They're going to be mindless eating. Dallas and Melissa
The
Harwood wrote
sugar's
about that.
not as bad.
You just like
It's still there, but
if
it's not
you're
as
gonna
bad.
get a snack, like if you're like, hey man, I'm gonna treat myself, get some
Yeah.
chocolate.
You know who says that? You know who? So you said healthy because that's how like it's been marketed, but like the people who say that are the people who produce that product. It's not like some health person said that. Oh yeah, this is healthy. No,
Right.
like people saying like a glass of wine a day isn't bad for you.
Right.
You know who said that shit?
Wine
Producers of wine.
Right.
Wine producers.
That's why we don't hear it anymore.
Yeah.
Because we got to like look into it. Like, oh wait, there's not really.
Yeah.
You're talking about antioxidants that we can find elsewhere.
Yeah, like berries.
Turns out we didn't need the wine.
Yeah, just eat the grapes.
And turns out when you said it was good for you, you didn't take into account the negative effects as well.
Yeah, yeah,
You were just saying there might be a positive effect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that alcoholism issue or just the alcohol issue of the not sleeping well.
Yeah.
We're not going to consider that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Drink this down a little bit. I want to
yeah.
talk about this real quick.
Yeah, oh, darn it. Well, the ice melt, that might actually.
How have and we'll talk about that in a second. How have your clients done on eating enough? Is that still a struggle, or are they doing a better job?
So the ladies are doing real good. Surprisingly, it's the guys that aren't eating enough.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, ladies are doing real well with
Good
eating,
job,
like-
ladies.
Yeah, congrats, ladies. Guys, we got to eat more. Step it up.
Guys, that's rare. What are we doing here?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's I think one of the things is like just being busy with work. Like that's the main excuse. that
Okay,
I've got,
so
like,
let's touch on that because I had that question the other day, or not question.
like how do I eat
It's
at
never
work?
a question. It's a statement.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
too busy.
Yeah,
Like-
I'm too busy.
Tough tomatoes.
I work
kid.
all day.
Like I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get it, and this is where you have to be. It's priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Eating is a job.
It's a
And
responsibility actually.
Oh, there we go. It's a responsibility, and if you are trying to be your best, then you are going to make sure you eat. There is no glory in working through your meals. Like, I'm sorry. And if you're doing that daily, we got to reset, okay? There's got to be something we do different. And so the reason that this hit so close home is for a long time, we had to, like, convince our teachers that they needed to prioritize eating.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and did a presentation at a school one time, and so we were speaking. I was speaking to teachers that do not go here, don't do CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had not heard me say, I don't care that you work for 9 hours straight. You still have to have something to eat. You cannot go all day without eating.
Yeah.
You cannot go all day without water. But what I had done was I had made a slide from our teachers, their recommendations on how they had overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, teachers are up against it, man. You work all day, but you have the choice to eat.
And another thing teachers go through is that they don't want to drink the necessary amounts of water because they can't leave class all the time to
And
use
that's
the
the
restroom.
thing. Like when a guy or a gal comes in and goes like, I work an office job and I get consumed in my work and I don't have time to eat. Yeah, kid, you do have time to eat because you could have that snack right next to you.
Yeah.
You're saying that while a teacher is stuck in his or her classroom for hours at a time. They have a period where maybe they get to technically be off, but they have responsibilities in that hour that might have to do with kids, watching kids, like a lunch period where they get to technically go to lunch, but they have to watch the kids eat lunch. Like, they don't have the free time.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly, the peeing, like, I get to go to the bathroom whenever I want. Like, literally, like, oh, I'm going to set the microphone down and go pee right now.
Yeah.
like whatever. They literally can't. You can't leave a class full of 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Be like, sorry, kids, I got to pee.
You come back, it's just chaos.
If they're still there.
Someone's crying.
And so
someone fell off a desk. How'd that happen?
Basically my thing is, it's the same. If someone else in worse circumstance than you has figured it out, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
And so if teachers have figured it out, you can figure it out. And teachers that haven't figured it out, if other teachers have figured it out, you can figure it out.
What do you think about not drinking enough water because you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to pee because it's going to interrupt your sleep?
So, shut up. You're not sleeping that well anyways. Here's the deal with that. I went to Officer Candidate School for the Marine Corps in 2009. As someone that served in the military in the 90s and early 2000s would tell you, Officer Candidate School specifically, boot camp in general, has gotten relatively soft in certain ways because there's more oversight. People get offended when there's injuries. Apparently, when you kill a candidate, it's not good, and so they go out of their way to make sure they still do it in a very like Marine way, but like they made sure we hydrated. Yeah. Like, stop what you're doing, grab your canteen, and finish it. Like, they would make sure we hydrated. And so then you'd have to pee all the time. Yeah. And there were things that, like, you weren't allowed to go pee during, of course. And what was told, the sentiment was, because Officer Candidate School is a combination of, like, college students as well as enlisted Marines, men and women who have been through it. And so what the enlisted Marines would say, be like, look, here's what happens. You're going to be really uncomfortable for a week. Okay? You're going to drink a bunch of water. You're going to be really uncomfortable. You have to pee all the time. And then your body is going to adjust. Mm-hmm. If you get accustomed to drinking a bunch of water, you will not wake up in the middle of the night to pee. Yeah. The only reason you're waking up in the middle of the night to pee is because your body is not used to being hydrated. Yeah. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night to pee consistently, that means that you're doing your body a disservice because you're not regularly that hydrated. Yeah. So what I would tell you is, understand you're going to have a bad week, but then if you stay consistent like you're supposed to, you will adjust. It's like eating. Yeah. It's like eating more. I believe that you don't want to eat more. I believe you, but I believe you're there because you've mistreated your body for years. Yep. So you can't just keep under-eating. You have to eventually force yourself to eat the requisite or the required number of calories, and then your body will adjust. Yeah. And then you'll be a machine, and you'll want to eat more. You'll be an incinerator.
Also, I asked that because I'll drink like a full bottle's worth of water before bed and when I wake up. And I've woken up in the middle of the night to pee, but it didn't phase my sleeping. Like, it doesn't make a difference unless your house is lit up like a Christmas tree and that wakes you up. But it really doesn't interrupt your.
I saw a meme yesterday. It was like, does anybody else run to the bathroom and then run back to bed so they don't lose their tired?
Like, I actually think that'd be worse because you're gonna like fire up your heart rate a bit.
Right.
But it just. Your body doesn't. I don't think your body notices it. Like,
I'll keep my eyes closed.
Yeah.
I won't open my eyes a lot, and I won't turn on lights if I don't have to. I definitely won't look at my phone screen because I don't brighten up.
No. Just restroom, go back, lay down.
I think this is one of those things like misaligned priorities.
Yeah.
Like, of all the things to worry about your sleep, how about you worry about going to bed on time?
Yeah.
How about you worry about not being on your phone in bed? Mm-hmm. How about you worry about not watching TV before you go to bed so that you can actually shut your eyes? Like, of all the things to worry about related to sleep, the hydration is what you're going to cut off the list?
Yeah.
Like, when someone brings that to me, my first question is going to be like, all right, do you plug your phone in near your bed? Well, yeah. It's my alarm. Well, it can be your alarm across the room.
Okay.
Do you look at your phone?
But I got to get up and turn it off.
Yeah, man. I look at Instagram before I go to bed. So you can pound your – if you're gonna be on social media before you sleep, you can drink a bottle of water. Mm-hmm. Because you're already not sleeping because of your choice. At least do the good thing. Mm-hmm. So that's a very common thing. I'm glad you brought it up. Okay, so off that for a second, Robert Flores, our 5 a.m. Robert, he saw our coffee taste test last week.
Yes.
He does his own cold brew. Mm-hmm. Is this something he does consistently?
So he has one of these machine things where you kind of put in your grounds and it does everything. It'll brew the coffee for you.
Interesting.
So you just let it sit in the fridge. Taylor and Colin actually have this same type of machine where you just throw in your grounds and you just throw in the water and it brews it for you, so it's ready to drink. You don't have to filter anything.
Yeah.
You put the stuff in there, you let it sit, and 24 hours later or whatever the timer's set to, you have cold brew. You hit the spout, it dumps out.
Interesting.
And also interesting was how Robert brought it to us.
It was in a sack.
It was in a sack.
It was a
Ziploc bag.
Ziploc bag.
So that Ziploc bag is proven. It is leak proof.
Yep.
It did not leak.
It worked really well, actually.
Yes,
At first, I was like, this is going to be weird, but it actually poured really easily.
Yeah.
Might
have been better than a cup.
So we did about 1 part water, 2 parts concentrate. And it's pretty good.
It's good.
It is not bad at all.
Yeah. Robert, this is delicious.
It would have been top 2 last week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think it might have been number 1.
Like, you honestly, like, if it was a blind taste test, like, really, really, really blind, and someone brought us this, and like, hey, these are all from local cafes, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. Where's this one from?
Absolutely. Like, we could sell this.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's Robert. Good job.
Yeah, it's some good shit.
That was great. So
let us know what kind of beans you use.
Yeah, I would love to, because that's something I'm interested in. Is like, what beans are we using?
Yeah. As far as I know, the preference is single origin beans and medium to light roast, not dark.
Yeah, I would like to do a light roast. I think our first experiment would be with a light roast.
Light roast. Light to medium. Single origin.
And some sort of quality bean that's worth paying for.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, great job. Yeah, let us know about the beans. Let us know about, and if any of the rest of you experiment with coffee, we'd love to help you test it.
Yes.
Love to help you test it.
We'll give you our jacked up palate review.
Yeah. Yeah, we use really fancy words. If you did not listen last week on the live shows, I did not put it in the podcast. I put our beginning and I put our ending, but I cut out all of the actual tasting.
There was too much.
Yeah, Joel kept going.
Sorry.
And then, but also, like, it wasn't just him. Like, it was just boring. It was like a lot of us just drinking.
You know, I was listening to Gary Vee, and you know, it's funny. I'm glad you edited that shit out because I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he was eating. Like, you could tell. And he was like, you know, I was thinking, you know, it's all this bullshit about, and I was like, holy shit, that is annoying.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad we don't do donuts while we're doing podcasts.
Yeah,
this is the most
we got rid of that
thing.
idea real quick.
Yeah. We kept the name though, but
yeah. Well, we just whittled it down to C&T.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If you're not an OG
tacos.
listener, then you might not know what it is. It could be
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Coffee and tots.
Yeah.
I don't know.
CrossFit and training. What?
There we go. CrossFit and talking.
CrossFit and talking. that's basic. That's more basic than pumping
What's your
spice and
podcast?
Uggs.
CrossFit and talking. We actually don't talk about CrossFit, but
yeah, it's just talking.
Okay, next.
Man.
Coming up. One. Actually, I'll do announcements. I was going to say Battle Buddy, October 20th. We are doing a run-through of Olivia workout tomorrow. Chad Stevens during our 4:30 class. The guy that comes during our 4:30 class, his daughter Olivia spent 57 days in the in the Texas Children's Neonatal ICU. And so he's been running this event for 9 years now. And this is the 12th event. I've been fortunate to host it twice now. I've hosted it once here. We hosted it once here. And then I hosted it once at District H. It normally was run at Bayou City. And so it's been a great event every year. All the money goes to Texas Children's. And so there's 2 workouts this year. And they are going to be accessible to anybody. And I want to really, really emphasize that. But we're going to do a run-through tomorrow because I know how nervous people get. I told Chris this morning, I was like, people worry about stuff. I was like, I could say the competition is 57 sit-ups, and 50% of our athletes would say they can't do that. And you'd be like, but I see you do sit-ups all the time.
Man.
We just get these weird things in our head that we're like, I can't. There's no way I'd be able to do that. You know what I really like? And tell me if you think this is possible. What if my mom and your mom did it?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
What if my mom and your mom did it?
That'd be cool.
Like, and we would like program the reps for them.
Yeah.
Like, you do 10, you do 10.
Mama
like,
Wolves.
Relax.
Mama Wolves.
Because they both be nervous as hell.
Yeah.
But what if they did it?
I think that'd be cool.
I think we should sign them up.
want to do it.
Okay. But tomorrow, 8 a.m. and 9 a.m.,
It's
regular
not gonna be a
schedule, we are going to run through the Olivia workout. So if you've never done it before, come check it out. And I brought that up because that leads me to, and it's a little bit up in the air, Joel, Adam, and Lulu are competing on November 12th?
It's beginning of November. I think it's the 12th.
I think it's the second weekend because Hammer and Chisel's the first weekend.
Yes.
So November 12th or somewhere, whatever Saturday that is.
Yeah. And I heard something about Hammer and Chisel. Heard a little something about Hammer and Chisel.
And then the weekend before, Chris Hammernick and myself will be teaming up to take on the greatest competition in Houston, which is Atomic CrossFit's Hammer and Chisel event.
Yeah.
It is my favorite competition, the men and women that run it. Jim Kelly programs every year, and it's amazing programming. It's so consistent. It's never fancy. It's never too much. It's old school. They always say old school CrossFit, and I love that. And then Grace, who Jim and Grace are partners at Atomic. Grace is an OG in the Houston CrossFit community, and she is awesome. She is absolutely awesome. So Chris Hammernick and myself will be out there first weekend of November, and so competition coming up. Now, I should have said, and I didn't want to put her on the spot. So first of all, congratulate Angie Diaz. She is a certified peace officer now. She took her exam. She graduated the academy, and she took her exam.
Hell yeah, Angie.
I wish I knew who she was going to work for. Constable?
No, she'll be a constable.
Constable. We don't know precinct, though.
Don't know the precinct.
But she's the newest constable.
Does not like HPD.
And so,
no offense, HPD.
There's inner industry rivalry, as with any industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Angie, congratulations on passing your peace officer exam or whatever that's called. She's certified peace officer now, and so she will be hitting the streets pretty soon.
She'll be laying down the law, folks.
And so, look out for her. She's gonna bring the pain.
Better get those tags up to date.
I don't want to be negative. I say it every time. Like, I don't want to be negative, but like, was there anybody else in her class photo that was fit?
So she was the captain for a reason. She's a hard
and,
worker.
and if you don't know
She's
Angie,
a hard
if you've
worker.
never had the amazing not luxury,
mentally and physically
benefit
she's a hard
of
worker.
knowing Angie Diaz. She's an amazing woman, and she's incredibly fit. That's awesome.
She's got drive.
And so, like, you don't want to hold someone to an unrealistic standard.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't say that I would think a brand new police officer should be at Angie's level, although I don't see why they wouldn't be.
Yeah, they should want to strive to.
Shouldn't they at least be able to survive a workout?
Yeah. Like, I see cops that are like, okay, what if someone was running from you?
Well, and that's always the question. And I want to give credit.
Of course, you got taser guns.
I want to give benefit to, like, I've been on, maybe been a police officer for a while now.
I think you should be fit.
I think you should be too.
Should be fit.
But I just
firefighter.
Hey,
police.
Relax, because I just want to say maybe the job got you down.
Maybe.
Also, there's a supply and demand issue.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough officers to fill these roles, and that's why they have to work so much. And they work; their hours are too long.
Hours are
and
nuts.
They're sitting in a vehicle for freaking 10 hours at a time, and like, they're the same as us, man. Like, they get hungry. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be able to go whip up a salad.
And their meals can be interrupted by a call.
No, like, so they have to eat fast.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be cheap food fast.
Cheap food fast.
And so...
Although I believe you get free Chick-fil-A.
Still cheap food, bro. That doesn't make you healthy.
I know, I'm just saying.
That's a terrible food choice.
It is a terrible food choice. But
so, like, that's the point. Like, you also get complimentary food a lot of places, and you deserve it, but, like, it's not... Like, Brenner's on the Bayou's not offering you a free meal on your break.
No.
Like, you don't get to go have, like, steak and roasted vegetables. You don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So they're the same as us in terms of, like, demands of the job, in terms of more demands, too, highly stressful. But in terms of, like, they're sitting down all day in a even worse position because they're in a car.
Yeah.
So, like, at least at a desk.
Back's rounded and shit.
They got to round their back, and they got to, like, and they're stressed out.
Yeah. Swamp ass.
And they're eating cheap food.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not even crazy that 5 years in, 10 years in, you start gaining some weight.
You know what sucks when you've been sitting for 5 hours just driving around?
Getting up and running?
Yeah, and carrots. I'm just saying, that's
depressing.
What
I don't want to eat healthy? When I've been hunched over in my vehicle on a road trip. So, no, it's completely understandable. But here's my question.
All right.
It's day one.
Yeah.
You're not even an officer yet, and you're fat.
Well, unhealthy, unfit.
Okay,
We'll
unhealthy, unfit.
That's the hardcore.
Not in that photo.
Well, yeah.
So, like, my point, like, if you can't be motivated to be your best self on day one, what's going to happen when the job grinds you down because you've got to take care of the city?
You know, that's why Tim Kennedy was saying, like, it's hard to, like, actually get into, like, these different branches of, like, the Marine or the Army or the Navy or Air Force because, like, people aren't fit enough.
Right.
Like it wasn't the academics. It was the unable, like, physically.
Special Forces have a much smaller pool to recruit from. Because even if you somehow have the intelligence, which a lot of kids don't anymore, they don't have the physical ability. But what I don't understand, you want to be a police officer and you're not going to bring it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get through my life without ever having to be tackled by a police officer because I tend to respect the law.
And I think that's also where like lethal force comes in and like acts like
All of those candidates are going to go to their weapon first.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice.
yeah, because they can't defend themselves.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Not one of them. I'm sorry, but if I do decide to be a shithead and a bad guy, nobody in that picture's going to handle me without a weapon.
Bah! Yeah.
It's not even an option.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're going to handcuff me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's day one.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I think that police officers are overworked. I think they're underpaid. And I think that, as with any job, when you're in these negative environments without break and without thanks, I think it's already such a tough spot. But to be entering
And
that.
underappreciated.
Super underappreciated. But to be entering that already in an unhealthy state.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, man? What are we doing? So, Angie, not only congratulations, but thank you for being someone to look up to.
Yeah.
Because you
setting the bar high.
I mean, she trained harder these past. How long was she in it? 6 months? 3 months? 6 months?
Six.
6 months?
Yeah.
In the 6 months
The
where her
academy was 6 months, and she was doing school before that too.
in the 6 months that she's training while also going to the academy, she started to push harder in here, and she was already pushing before.
Yeah.
Because she wanted it, man. She wanted to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really unfortunate that then she's going back and she's with people that don't care to be the best.
Yeah.
But they still want to have the authority and the respect.
Mm-hmm.
Respect is earned, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Earned, not given, folks.
and so great job, Angie. You're someone to look up to. I think that the men and women of this city that are going to interact with you in your role as a police officer are going to respect you for that.
And if they don't, they catch those hands.
Well, and if they don't, you're going to be able to put them in their place.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. So congratulations on that. But she's going to be potentially teammate number 4.
Yes, yes.
And
she says she's all in. She wants
if
to do
she's
it.
in, then she's in. But if her schedule doesn't allow, no pressure, Angie. We're gonna sub you out because I don't want to stretch you too thin.
Yeah.
But as of right now,
Ben will put a wig on. He'll take your place.
Lulu and Angie are the 2 ladies, and then Adam and Joelle
It's 2018. They
will
can't
be the 2
question that.
guys. We're gonna call them the Black Wolf Power Ponies.
Power ponies.
And they're competing at
I'm Rainbow Dash.
River Oaks Elementary.
Yeah.
On around November, whatever Saturday is closest to November 12th. That's the date that's stuck in my head right now. It's the Energy Games put on by Vintage CrossFit, so that'll be really, really cool. Other things coming up. Bear Complex, the grips that we'll be selling will arrive Monday.
Did you do 3-hole or 2-hole?
I got all of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
We have all sorts of grips from Bear Complex being delivered Monday, and they'll be for sale here. The Wad and Done one-time use grips are already available at the desk. And then junk headbands. That'll be our next retail edition. Junk headbands. We'll probably wait. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do that.
Yeah. Also, are we still going to need them with, like, fall and winter approaching?
I think people buy headbands no matter what because I think they keep hair out of the face.
Yeah.
In terms of guys buying them, maybe that would be.
I mean, Hunter rocks the shit out of them.
Absolutely, he does.
He's got no hair. He's got hair, but, like.
Right. And, I mean, it's not like in the winter you're not sweaty as hell.
That's his look.
And then also, like, the winter here is in February.
You know what? I really think wristbands are the shit.
Like old school
tennis
wristbands.
They keep sweat going from in your hands. You know, everyone's always like, my hands are so sweaty.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not your hands that are sweating. It's the sweat running
from your
down.
Yeah. I mean, some people have sweaty hands.
Sure. They're nervous.
And they're nervous and embarrassed about it. Don't be embarrassed about that, folks. You're all special. No. But yeah, I think wristbands would be the shit. Imagine wristbands with the shield on it. Damn, that'd be sick. Or BW.
We could get them like monogram. I bet that's like a monogram.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
Okay. Old school.
I'd rock the shit out of those.
Wristbands kind of look tight too.
Wristbands do look tight.
John Cena brought them back.
Make your forearms look huge too.
John Cena brought them back. You know he wears a headband on his bicep.
I believe it.
It's a headband.
That's all he could fit around his bicep.
It's a headband.
His arm is bigger than my torso.
It's
probably.
a headband. It's
I
insane.
think his arm is probably like the same inches as my waist.
He's like 45 or 40. The Rock's like 48.
Yeah, I know. And John Cena's coming up in like Hollywood too. Like he's starting to be in movies. The Rock, he's on some other shit. I don't know. He's on something. Like he's always like 4 a.m, just arrived in China, about to hit these weights.
No, he absolutely is. And
it
was funny because Joe Rogan was joking. I was like, his T levels are elevated. And like, whoever he's in, was like, "How dare you, sir?" Oh, it's Shab. He's like, "How dare you, sir?" But they were joking. Because guess what? You can do that. Like, why not do that? They were talking about how They were talking about if there was a pill that gave women big asses, every woman would be. If there was a steroid that gave women, every woman would be on it.
Yeah.
And Teresa, if you're listening, there's a Joe Rogan clip about the Kardashians and about Kim Kardashian's uncurated ass and how not great it is.
Yeah.
And
That
how
diaper
she
butt.
is single-handedly pushing unrealistic body image because she doesn't even look the way that she says she looks. And then Kylie Jenner having plastic surgery at the age of 16.
Yeah, she's the worst.
So I'm going to send that your way, Teresa, because we should not be idolizing people that are misguiding our youth.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But no, they were saying that if there's a steroid to give big asses, that every woman would be on it. But men are frowned upon for taking steroids. And so, what's the deal with that? And by the way, it still takes work.
Yeah.
If I shoot up right now, I don't suddenly.
Steroids were they were for medicine at first.
Yeah.
They just happen to have effects that made muscles grow. Like people were like, oh, let me abuse the shit out of
Steroids are something kind of like marijuana.
Yeah.
They're all worth more discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But because government oversight, we grew up believing that it's just evil.
Yeah.
And there is no application.
Abuse of the product.
And now we're finding out CBD is curing cancer.
Yeah.
Marijuana is aiding in the curing of cancer. Yeah. But we're still told it's evil. How can something cure cancer? CBD oil is keep preventing seizures.
It's not enough long-term research. That's what it all comes down to.
Well, there's no research because the government said it was evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Or maybe the government said the pharmaceutical lobby has more money than the weed lobby.
Definitely a lot more.
So we need to just have more discussion about this stuff.
I think Vegas and Colorado are making billions off the marijuana industry and using that towards schools and important shit.
Yeah, I mean, the tax income is one huge benefit that I don't understand why. Well, I do understand. It's lobbyists. It's money in the government because the tax revenue doesn't go to the particular politician. The tax revenue goes to the state. You know what the politician's not worried about? The politician's not worried about the state.
Nope.
The politician's worried about his or her pocket. Mm-hmm. And so there's no better illustration than that, in my opinion. However, what I don't understand is also in Colorado, you know what's not happening? There's not a rise in car wrecks.
Nope.
There's not a rise in thievery and illicit behavior.
Nope.
All the corruption that was supposed to occur when you don't outlaw drugs.
If anything, you know what everyone's biggest complaint was when it came to marijuana? You get paranoid.
Yeah.
If you're paranoid, aren't you more aware of everything? You're more careful. You're more cautious.
Right.
You don't become belligerent.
So this isn't a debate on marijuana, although we could talk about that. I could quickly become a weed advocate. This is more just there should be nothing
makes sense.
There should be nothing in life you take at face value.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There should be nothing. Remember when high volume Olympic lifting was evil?
Yeah.
Hey kids, if you do more than 3 reps, your shoulder's gonna shoot out the side of your body. Yeah. You know what's never happened? Your shoulders never shot out the side of your body.
Did not.
You know what's really awesome? Your body composition from doing heavy lifting multiple times. You know?
Or you're gonna shrink. You're gonna stay short. You're not gonna grow.
Oh yeah, if you lift weights, you're gonna stay short.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Seems like there's some big people, some tall people that lift weights.
Yeah.
So
lifting forever.
Never take anything at face value. Our parents' generation is different than us. Okay? Our parents' generation, they didn't have access. So questioning wasn't really possible.
I just want to bring up this guy. I forget his name. It's La Rasha or something like that. 21 or 22 years old. Snatches over 400 pounds. Lives for Kazakhstan or somewhere in the Asian area, where Russia's at, somewhere up there in that area. Huge. Yep. 22, 21. You can tell he's been lifting forever.
Yep.
It does not stunt your growth.
No, it does not. The Russians have their kids lifting at 4.
Yeah. Then again, you can't trust the Russians.
Well, but they still.
Have you seen Icarus yet?
No.
I want to see it. I keep hearing it's so good. I hear nothing but good things.
I just feel like I already know the answer. I know what it's going to be about.
Pretty much. That's probably why I haven't watched it either.
There's not going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Putin has everybody on drugs.
Yeah.
And WADA,
Putin.
the world anti-doping agency's in on it. That's what it's going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to vilify this one doctor.
Yeah.
Even though he was just acting on behalf of Putin and now he doesn't want to act on behalf. I feel like, did I just sum up the movie?
You might have.
No, guys. We have a responsibility now because we have access to so much more information, so we're allowed to question stuff.
Yeah.
You know? We don't have to be these people deserve this and they're allowed to kill these people for it. Nope, you don't have to say that, okay? We don't have to say, well, my mom told me this was bad for me. No, we're allowed to read and and if you come to the conclusion it's bad, it's okay. But make sure it's your conclusion.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, well, my daddy believed it, so I believe it too.
Yeah.
Because that's how we stay in the past.
Yeah.
And everything that we've benefited from is from pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So question everything. Doesn't mean you have to be a dick about it, but you should question everything.
Question everything, do your research.
There you go. You have a responsibility to, before you pop off at the mouth, to actually, like, even just go to Wikipedia, damn it. All right.
2 minutes till.
I think it's about time. All right,
This was a fun one.
Yeah, it was.
I had great coffee from Robert.
Yeah,
Robert,
thank
it was
you, Robert.
definitely great. So get back to us on that. There's a great bubble. I think that's a response or something.
Thank you, Robert.
I don't know
And
what that means.
again, congratulations to Angie on the peace officer
Congrats,
exam.
Angie.
Hi, Lucy. We're gonna get out of here. Joel's got a coach.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
We will see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.